Holy cow, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Dom and Gonz Sports Talk, the show where we not talk about everything Baltimore Ravens but around the NFL. And welcome back to another post-game live stream where we're breaking down the most recent Ravens game, in this case being our Week 14 overtime win against with the Ravens pulling it out. Oh, man, what was it, 37-31 off of a walk-off punt return by Tylan Wallace. Unbelievable. Just, wow. Dom, what an action-packed game in nasty conditions. It was raining and wet all day long, and the Ravens find a way to win, different from last year, find a way to win in the fourth quarter / overtime, which is what you want to see as we are officially now in December football. Just so much to talk about with this game. Good, bad, and ugly. We're going to talk about all of it. But, man, I was on the edge of my seat that entire game. I did not making the trip. I ended up selling my tickets because I really didn't want to sit in rain. Because, me working as a school teacher, I can't afford to get sick. And it wasn't worth it to me. But I will for sure be there for the last two matchups. But anyway, Dom, geez. What did you think? Are you happy? What are your thoughts? Because that was incredible. So happy we won the game, but
a win is a win. A win, we'll take a win when it's a win. But this game, it gives me pause for cause. I'm not gonna lie. It was a little bit scary coming out of the bye week. Defense was not great. There were good moments, not great. I'm happy for the win. Don't get me wrong. 10-3 looks good on us at this point in the season. But, there's a lot of takeaways from this game. And as much as they're probably super excited about this win on Monday, they'll probably be coming back like, boy, there is some stuff we got to clean up. Because it was just celebrate the win tonight. I'm so happy we got it against a really good Rams team who was kind of clicking these past couple of games. But we're going to break it down, but boy, we have some things we have to clean up, and quick. There's no more time for waiting. It's quickly we have to clean these things up. But yeah, I'm happy we got the win, no doubt about it. I was at the edge of my bed, just sitting there like, and we got the first of all, we get the OT. I'm sitting here like, when the Rams had that final drive to get to overtime, I was like, oh my God, like Marlowe should have sealed it. We'll talk about it, but Marlowe should have sealed that game before it even got to overtime. I'm like,
yeah, it was close.
It was way too close.
Contested, but yeah, it was so close, right in his hands, and I thought he was going to pull it in right here on his chest, on his stomach, because he kind of pulled the ball down by his hip. Just couldn't quite corral it, but it was. But they ended up getting it done anyway. Real quick to start out, I want to say, Dom, I was right with a few things. That being, the Ravens possibly had a good chance of stumbling out of the gate from the bye week a little bit rusty, and I think that's exactly what we saw, especially on the defensive side of the ball. My goodness, that first drive, they were lucky that they gave up only a field goal because the Rams ran 9 straight times, and the Ravens had zero answer for it. And I said, oh my goodness, are we in for a long, long game? But thankfully, they started to settle in a little bit on the run defense, but then the pass defense started going downhill. And that was another thing that I was talking about when we gave our score predictions. I said 23-20. Dom said we were going to handle business 31-17. I knew the Rams were going to give up a fight, and I just envisioned. And you guys can go back, watch the video. Go back and watch the end of our pregame show where I gave my little soliloquy on why I was very nervous about this game. And that Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp had a chance to really go off. And boy, did they go off today. Oh, my gosh. It's just the Rams were clicking on all cylinders coming into the game today, and their offense really was humming. Stafford got himself going. The passing game was clicking. So, yeah, like I just said, the run game was moving the first half, first quarter. Then they started airing it out, and we were really struggling to get stops all day today. sacked Stafford 2 times, which is very hard to do on that Rams offensive line. But again, he had time almost all day. And then on the other times where we did send our cover zero rush, he just would chuck it up to Cup wide open, and they would get just absolutely scorched. I mean, and I was really frustrated to watch that. Defense, not their best game. Mike McDonald's play calling, not that great at times either. Because if you're going to send cover zero and leave Arthur Mallette, our slot cornerback, on Cooper Kupp, I mean, that's just not going to be a pretty sight. And they were just getting big play after big play after big play. And then even on the last drive, Marlon Humphrey got torched by Cooper Kupp. Just let him slip by and then could not recover. And you can't do that. I mean, with wide receivers like that, you just cannot give them that much space. You always have to anticipate, what's going to happen. And especially at the end of the game, you cannot get beat deep like that. There was less than a minute left. The Rams could only stop the clock like once or two more times. You can't give that big play up. That was terrible. Thank God they got the stop in the red zone, but that could have easily sealed the deal for the Rams. And thank God they got the 2-point conversion too, or else that would have sealed the deal. They would have kicked the field goal and won the game. But yeah, this defense, all right, we're back from the bye. You need to get clicking back into shape because this was reminiscent of that Browns game. Not sharp. Tackling, not good in the first half. A little bit better in the second half. But still, many broken tackles by Cooper Kupp. And juke move down the sideline when they went that go-ahead touchdown to go up 28-23. Like, come on, man. You got to wrap him up. Wrap him up. Cooper Kupp's not known to be elusive. He's known to run good routes, in my opinion. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But, yeah, just a little bit of a mess on defense today, and we've got to get that corrected fast.
Agreed. There's not really much you didn't say that I was going to say. Defensively, this is not a great performance coming off of the bye. I mean, when you give up 294 to Stafford had a field day on us, 294 for 3 touchdowns. It just Kyron, 25 carries, 114 yards, no touchdowns. But when you got Cooper Kupp giving us 115, you got Puka giving us 84. You got a rookie tight end giving us 4 for 50 and a touchdown. You got Demarcus Robinson, an old friend of ours, Demarcus Robinson, hitting us with 3 for 46 and a touchdown. Like, we can't have that happening. Not saying that the Rams receiving core is terrible, but it's just the fact that when you have a receiving core like this, and then you think about the receiving cores we have to go against coming up, like this, as a Ravens fan, it gives you pause for cause. Because next week, now mind you, what do we got? Christian Kirk and Calvin Ridley. I feel like we should be able to handle that, but
Kirk's not going to be there.
Kirk's out. Okay, well, if Kirk's
down the road, though, we've got Deebo Samuel.
That's what I'm saying. We have
and then Tyreek Hill and Waddle.
Ayuk, and then Tyreek and Waddle. Like, if we can't contain these two, what are the other two groups are going to do to us? Like, this is why it gives me pause for cause, because we couldn't stop a cold today. Defensively, we came out flat. Now, I'm not going to lie, this was not the best game for Marlon Humphrey. And I know I mentioned the pick earlier today, but it didn't really matter who he was on. He was getting cooked. It was barbecue chicken out there. Like, it doesn't matter if he was on Puka. It doesn't matter if he was on Cooper Kupp. Demarcus Robinson cooked him at least twice. Like, I feel like Marlo has to get back into the pro form that he was in, because this ain't it. I don't know what's going on with him, but this game was not a great show of his ability coming into this.
Not his best game. He had a couple plays at the end, and a couple plays here and there, but yeah, overall not a strong game.
Yeah, it just wasn't good on our front. So yes, secondary, this is not our best day. Pass rush, only 2 sacks on Stafford. It was like he could have went to a restaurant real quick and ordered for him and his wife and his kids, and they would have been able to still throw the ball on us. Like, it wasn't good. Like, the pass rush wasn't great. There were some key stops. Shout out to the defense for getting some crucial stops. But other than that, like, on both sides of the ball, we didn't play well. And offensively on that side, like, I know Lamar threw for 316 and 3 touchdowns, but I mean, a lot of that was just the Rams' broken coverage a lot of the time. Like, and it's like, offensively, I still feel like we weren't clicking. Like, I am happy to see that Odell, he had 4 for 97. Likely 5 for 83. Zay 6 for 60. Like, everyone had decent games, but it's like, why? I just feel as though we still don't have like a full-on identity or true consistency on the offense. At least today did not show me that, because there were moments where we were throwing the ball when I felt like, what are we doing? We need to slow this down and run it. And then it's like, I feel like we wanted to air it out a lot today, and I understand why we probably did, because, I mean, the Rams can do that at any point because of the weapons they have, like when you have a wide receiver duo like Kupp and Nakua. But, like, dude, we have our style of play. Like, Gus, I feel like Gus had 6 for 15 today. Keaton, I mean, he had 9 for 54, but our leading rusher was Lamar for 70 yards. Like, I just feel as though we didn't have an identity today. Like, we just tried to do things.
That's fair. But can I counter that?
Wait, yeah. But
yeah, go ahead.
Before I let you go, I'm just like, at this point, I didn't mind seeing Lamar air it out. I want to see him air it out, but it's just like, he's still not as consistent with the deep ball. Like, you can still see it. Like, he's still overthrowing guys. And it's like, as much as I want to see us go for like those big chunk plays, because I love them, it's like, until he can get that deep ball consistency, I don't know how much we can truly air it out, because I haven't seen him do it on a consistent basis. He had a couple of great throws, but until we do, I don't know. Like, I just wish we would have ran a little bit more today, in my opinion. I feel like the run should have happened a little more consistently.
Weren't you an advocate, though, in the pregame show that you wanted to see him air it out a lot?
I did want to see him air it out, but when you see how the game's going, you got to change up your mindset to get the win. You know, like, of course I want to see him air it out, but at that point in the game, there was like, okay, there's moments like, exactly because of the overthrows and things like that. It's like, dude, okay, some of this isn't working right now. Right now in this moment, it's not working. So let's try to go to something that's probably going to work. And it's not like Keaton had a bad game, but it's like, I thought, honestly, after the first 2 touchdown passes, I was like, shoot, at this point, it's early in the game, we might get a Jackson 5 out here. I thought I was going to speak it into existence after the first 2. But it was like, after a while, stuff wasn't working. The Rams were figuring stuff out. And then the pressure was getting to us pretty good. The offensive line, I mean, we only got sacked 2 times, so it wasn't really like jump out the gym pressure. But it's like, if things aren't working at this point, we got to switch it up. And I mean, we obviously did enough to win the game, but it's just, you know, I'm a fan of airing it out when it's consistent, and we're not consistent with it yet. So, like, I just thought that today we would be a little more consistent with it because of our success against NFC opponents so far this year, and the fact that, you know, a lot of the NFC has figured us out yet. But the Rams had a great strategy going into this game, and they excelled at it pretty well. Not enough to win the game because, you know, shout out Tylan Wallace. But, you know, I'll take a win with a win. But, yes, I was a fan for airing it out. The tape will prove I was a fan. But I like the win more.
Yeah. Now, I thought it was fine, but there were a couple plays that looked in rhythm. But a lot of those rushing yards by Lamar, as he was our leading rusher with like 11 carries for 70 or something, a lot of those he was just holding the ball forever.
Yeah, like he had time. He had a lot of time.
I can't get on the pass protection in this game. The pass protection was pretty damn good for the most part. Aaron Donald was not allowed to wreck the game.
We were triple teaming him a lot.
Yeah, there were a couple instances
triple teaming him a lot.
Pressure, he had to step up. But for the most part, when they went pistol or, you know, shotgun, Lamar would do those play actions, and he would have all day long. All day on a lot of passes. And some of them he just didn't want to uncork it. Sometimes he had guys open. Like on the first drive of the game, when he decided to throw it out of bounds to instead of hit Zay Flowers on that crossing route, I don't know why he didn't throw it. And then he threw a wide open pass to Odell Beckham that he had to one hand because the pass was inaccurate. So, yeah, I thought Lamar came out of the gate very rusty. Like, not trusting his instincts, not hitting the wide-open passes. And then he hit the wide-open one for Likely for a touchdown. But, yeah, I thought they were very aggressive with the passing today. Like, that interception to Bateman, didn't have to throw that down the field. You had time to go down. You didn't have to go deep go for it all. But yeah. So while it is a positive, I like that we are able to score quick on some of these because we haven't seen a lot of the deep passing touchdowns. You just got to get it. You got to get more in sync, more in rhythm. Trust who's open. Trust where you're going with the ball, and that'll cause for good things down the line. Because today you cannot blame the pressure. This was nowhere near as much pressure as it was against the Chargers.
Yeah, and going back to that Bateman interception, I just also want to say that I feel like Lamar and Bateman, they have to go back to like trying to get some consistency because we've seen this a couple of times this year where they have just not been in sync at all. And it's like I don't know if it's like miscommunications. I don't know if it's like it's a trust thing because even also in the game, like Bateman was running downfield. Lamar was trying to hit him on a pass, but then Bateman hesitates, which causes an incompletion. Like it's just those two have
Stop
to
throwing
get
it
in.
deep to them.
That's what like
you bring up a great point because I started complaining about that during the game. I said whenever we go deep to Rashad Bateman, it never works out for our.
it never works.
It's
Like
always incomplete or it's an interception.
They never can connect. I don't know what the problem is, but those two have to get in sync somehow, some way. Because
they're intermediate routes, but
right, yeah, like those 5 to 7 yard
10
completions,
yards,
those are fine.
they're fine. Yeah.
They're fine. But it's like anything deep at all between those two is usually incomplete. And it's like when you get to that point where it's like, oh, okay, well, if it's coming to Bateman, he's probably not gonna catch it. It leaves us only like two deep threats, which is 9 times out of 10 OBJ or Zay. So like it's maybe I don't know if they need to get some more time in. Maybe they need to like start communicating more during practice on the practice field. But man, they just cannot connect. I don't understand what the problem is, but they got to get it together at some point.
And that
because it's not looking good.
That interception to Bateman, he doesn't seem like he's the fastest guy out there either. So I don't know why they're trying to send him on go routes all the time. Or they were sending him early in the game. They were sending him deep, like a lot. And I just feel like you have guys that are better at doing that on this team, i.e. Odell Beckham Jr., Zay Flowers. So use them because when they went deep, they were able to connect. And Lamar has hit a couple deep passes to OBJ recently. The Bengals game, he hit a nice one down over the shoulder. This one, he hit over the shoulder for a touchdown. A little bit underthrown, but Beckham was still able to make the catch and roll into the end zone for a touchdown. So you have guys that are there for that. So let's not try to force it deep on some of those if you don't need to. Because, they really didn't have to. They were down 17-14. They had like 5 minutes to go in the half. They had plenty of time. Didn't have to go in, for it all because I felt like that's what they were doing a lot in the first and second quarter. Like just go home, go ball, home run, get it back in one play. So it was cool to see them be able to strike at that though. But they've got to. I don't want to see too much more of those with Bateman if it's not going to work out. If you're not going to get it in sync, then stop trying it. Use it. Use other guys for that because we have the speed out there to do so. What else was I going to say? Gus Edwards, 6 rushes for 15 yards. And Keaton Mitchell, like you said, 9 carries for 54 yards. Lamar had 70 carries. So while their rushing numbers were okay, like 120, 130 yards total on the ground, you could tell this game they really didn't want to run the ball at all. They were running to pass. And I guess that's fine because they weren't really able to generate hardly anything with Gus on his limited carries. And while to your point, you were saying that's a concern, like we should run the ball more. I think we can spin that a little bit more optimistically to say that, well, if we need to attack through the air, I guess we can, because there were times that we were kind of clicking. That safety really hurt us in the third quarter because that kind of threw off our momentum. That Tyler Linderbaum wild snap that went straight by Lamar into the end zone. Terrible. But, yeah, it'd be nice to see a little bit more balance. But, if we were just going to run it and get no yards, I don't mind just not doing free plays for the defense because sometimes I feel like if you're just going to run it and you get nothing, that's a free play for the defense. And the way the game was going, where we were trailing, it was going back and forth. I didn't really have an issue with pass in the fourth quarter. I just wish they didn't have to go super, hurry up tempo on that last drive before their touchdown to give the Rams a minute left in the game. They started going way fast, like snapping it within 5 seconds. And I'm like, okay, maybe we can take it down a notch a little bit and get the clock rolling. But then they got into a jam and got 3rd and 17, and they kind of had to take the touchdown there to Zay Flowers to take the lead. But, yeah, clock management, not the best. But, I didn't have an issue overall with the play calling too much in the fourth quarter. But I do definitely see your point with trying to be more balanced. But, they got to win without being balanced. So that's you could take something off of that. Because usually it's the opposite. Run, barely passing. This time it was pass, barely running. So.
Listen, man, I'll take it. Like I said, a win is a win at the end of the day. So I'll take a win, but we gotta get in the lab, man. We gotta stay in the lab, live in the lab, camp in the lab. I don't know, but this is just not a great performance. I mean, again, like a win is a win. 10-3 still looks good on us. I will take it. We're at the top of the AFC momentarily, depending on how tonight and tomorrow ends. But I mean, we have to find a way to stop these wide receiver duos because I'm still not confident going into. I mean, Jags, that's a different story. Jags is a different story. But when it comes to these next pair of wide receiver duos after Jags that we have to face, DBs get your ice ready because it's gonna be a game. Because if we're like, I just need to have more confidence in the secondary to be able to get it done. Because right now, I don't know if I do. Like right now, anyway.
I'm way more concerned about the defense than
it's just not good right now. It's not good. Marlo has to find his confidence again. I'm not gonna. I don't know what's going on with him. Like he has to find his confidence and get back to the DB1 status that we all know he has in him. And, he has to leave this secondary because we need it. And Kyle Hamilton, he's getting his MRI on Monday, so we'll see what the damage is with that. Everyone saw he did go down to that game. He tried to play, didn't work out. He came back out. So we got to check the status on that to see what is going on with him on Monday. But it's like we got to get our confidence back in secondary because I feel like they don't have much to be proud of in this game. I mean, they had, like I said, they had their moments, but it's not really anything to clap hands about. Like you gave up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you gave up just between two receivers, you gave up over 200 yards between two receivers alone.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's actually, no, you gave up 199. So you gave up about almost 200 yards between just two receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not good. That's not good. So we have to get back. Secondary has to rebuild that confidence again. Get back to good tackling form because, like you said earlier, Cooper Kupp was dicing everyone. Like it didn't matter. Like he was spinning off tackles. He was looking 24 again, and he's damn near 30.
Yep.
So at this point, I'll take the win, knowing that we beat a hot Rams team, but I don't know.
I'm not gonna panic yet, though.
There's no panic. There's no panic yet. Just worry.
Well, I'm not gonna. Marlo, first game back. I mean, he's been hurt for a month, so I'm not. Some people are saying he's a liability. Like, let's relax on that for now. It's one game, and Cooper Kupp's really good, and so is Puka Nacua. So, I mean, they've been kind of doing that to everybody they play, like what they did to the Browns defense last week. I mean, they put up 34 on them and won 34-19. That was a pretty big blowout. So I'm not gonna be super concerned quite yet. But if this decides to become a trend, that's when I'll start to say, uh-oh, we're in trouble. So if they can, I'm not, they found a way to win, looked a little rusty coming off the bye defensively. So they see if they can redeem themselves next week playing a Jaguars team with a hindered Trevor Lawrence, no Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, Evan Ingram, who's been coming on at tight end, and then a couple other people. Parker Washington, that little number 11 punt returner, had a really good game today, I thought. I had that Browns-Jags game on. He had a nice catch in the end zone for a touchdown, just completely mossed the defender. I don't know if that was Greg Newsome or Martin Emerson. I don't know, but it was nice. So while there's not dominant receivers over there, they definitely are playmakers. So defense will still have their work cut out for them. So let's see if we can see any improvement on that side of the ball. Another thing I want to talk about, that challenge by Harbaugh. What the heck was that? I would love to hear his excuse on that, because that was really, really bad. I mean, that's just like, you know the rules. Come on, you've been a head coach since 2008 in the NFL for the Ravens. So it's like, how are you challenging that? I mean, touchdowns are automatically reviewed. And I don't even know what the hell he was challenging. I mean, it was clear touchdown.
Yeah, it was a clear touchdown. It sounded like, now when he was mouthing, like I was trying to read his lips when he was talking to the refs after the challenge. I don't know if he was trying to say like somebody had stepped out or something in that. I don't know. I couldn't read his lips fully, but
they already review that though. That's the thing.
I don't know. He don't know the rules, apparently.
It's terrible, and it cost us a timeout.
Yeah.
And you kind of just wonder if that's why they were going up tempo. I started thinking about that when I said I didn't like how they were going super fast on their next drive. Might have been they wanted to either score quickly before the 2-minute warning in case they didn't get it and got stopped, and then had to get the ball back again with only 2 timeouts. So I was thinking they possibly were trying to score before that 2-minute warning to get that extra time and stoppage, just because they wasted a timeout. That was what my thought process was behind it. But obviously that didn't happen. They ended up wasting the clock and got the 2-minute warning, so they were committed right there to scoring. That would be my only excuse to why they were going so quick when they crossed the 50. They still had over 3 minutes left, and they were going lightning fast.
Yeah, and I was a little worried at that point, because I was like, "What do you got? Are you guys trying to leave them time?
Yeah,
trying to get back down there so they can get something?" Like, I didn't really understand the whole reasoning behind moving so fast so soon. But
just playing it safe in case they got stopped. I think that's the only way. And maybe that's why they were passing so much too. Like if it's incomplete, it stops the clock.
It does. It does stop the clock.
In my opinion,
to give them some time. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, this game went nowhere near what I thought it was going to be. Like in the final outcome, but a win is a win, man. But geez Louise, do we have some stuff to clean up? Because
I knew it was going to be a dogfight, and I predicted that. I just didn't think it was going to be as high scoring as it was. But I knew we weren't going to just roll over them and win by 14 points. Not even what you were saying. Other people said that too. Other people thought this was going to be an easy, relatively stress-free win for the Ravens. I said, hold your horses. This team is hot right now, especially on offense. And we're coming off a bye. And you know how we are coming off a bye sometimes, a little lethargic in the beginning. And the Rams took complete advantage of that. So
I'll tell you one thing right now, though. This game right here, I don't even want the number 1 seed. I'd rather be a 2.
Yeah, it's scary. It's really scary.
I don't want to be a 2. I'd rather be a 2 seed right now.
They're developing that trend of coming out of byes lethargic. And yes, I would like the 1 seed, but they've got to portray a message to come out strong, because defensively was really flat. And you do not want to be eaten up on the ground in the divisional round coming off of a bye against a scrappy wild card team, or whoever wins the lowest seed, because the 1 seed will play the lowest remaining seed, that had just scrapped their way to a victory, feeling good, coming out and you're flat-footed. So, yeah.
Nope. Right now, I don't want to have the 1 seed. If this is how we're going to come out after bye weeks, I don't want it, because
it's official. You do it once, it's concerning. You do it you do it once, it's whatever. Number 2, okay, maybe a little concern there, but if you do it after twice, that's a trend. 3 times or more is a trend, and this team is starting to do that.
Because right now, looking at this playoff picture, the whole AFC North is back in the playoffs. As we sit right now. Right now, it's us as 1, Miami 2, Kansas City 3, Jacksonville 4, Cleveland Browns 5, Pittsburgh 6, Bengals 7. So right now, the whole AFC North is right back in the playoff mix, just like that.
Well, it was big, yeah.
Yeah, so it is it is going to be an absolute dogfight for the remaining spot in the playoffs. So whoever, we have to make sure we're playing at tip-top shape, because if we have to go against our AFC North opponent for the third time in the playoffs, Lord have mercy.
I think we would get up for that game, though. What I
I'm not
would
saying
not,
we wouldn't, but
I don't play a team like, I don't know, because remember when we played Tennessee, they were a team that just squeaked in. We haven't played them before, and then they just beat us. I don't want to play a team like Denver or somebody that, gets a win. And by the way, guys, this is hypothetically for the 1 seed. I wouldn't want to play a wild card team that just scrapped their way to victory over a good team, over the 2 seed. Because the 7th seed plays the 2 seed, and then the 1 seed would obviously play the 7th seed if the 7th seed were to pull off the upset. So if Denver, for example, pulled off a stunner, that's who we would play coming off of a bye. And boy, that would be scary, because you do not want to come out flat-footed against a chippy wild card squad. I mean, we've seen it happen to us before. And I know I gave my whole speech on why it's a good to have the 1 seed in our pregame show, and I'm not going to flip my script, because I still believe having the 1 seed is very, has the most, impact and has a very good advantage. But you have to take advantage of the advantages that it gives you. You can't just say, oh, we got a bye week, whatever, let's just kick back and relax. No, you need to be working this time. Don't rest. And I know this bye week, Harbaugh gave the whole team over a week off. So this time, if they get the 1 seed, you need to be preparing all the weeks. Have small practices, but don't go on rest mode for an entire week, because that could lead to disaster, judging from Ravens' past experiences, whether it's regular season buys or postseason buys. So yes, I'm not going to sit here and change my opinion on everything I said last in the pregame show, but I will acknowledge it is a little bit concerning to see them continue to come out of bye weeks looking flat like this. So yeah, get that fixed. So yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Get the 1 seed, that's fine, but use the extra week as preparation as well as rest for some players. Like, still be meeting at the facility. Get prepared. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, it's going to be tough. Like, no matter who we face, it's going to be tough. Right now, my mind is kind of gearing towards not wanting the 1 seed, so I'm not really fully with you on that regard. But, I mean, I'd love to be wrong. Trust me. If they want to prove me wrong, prove me wrong. In this case, I'm not mad at it. But right now, it's not, it doesn't look like I want it right now. Not if we're coming out in this type of, because I told you in the like I said in the pregame, this is a game that I'm not saying it's must win, but you kind of needed to win this one, and they did get it. They got the win, but this is a game that you can't come out lethargic in, because you need this win before you get into the gauntlet that you're about to face. I said in the pregame, you at least want to come out of these last 5 games 4-1. At the worst, 3-2. At the worst, 3-2. And starting off this 5 games with a loss, with the gauntlet that we have to face, would not have been good. Not for momentum, not for seeding, not for anything. So this is a game that you want to take seriously and come out giving your all in, even after the bye. And I didn't see it. I didn't see it in this Ravens team's performance today. So they have to gear up. They have to get ready for this gauntlet. I'm glad they did get the win, 10-3, like I said. But, man, we have to treat these next few games like our life depends on it, because we have a potential Super Bowl matchup in like a couple of weeks. And then we got a matchup with another great playoff team who has another explosive offense. So it's I just would like to see us come out with more urgency over the next couple of weeks, because we're going to need it, because we're going to be battling hell these next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and real quick before we get out of here, let's go over quickly what happened today around the AFC North and the rest of the AFC in general. Jacksonville got taken down, as we stated. Joe Flacco and the Browns took them down 31-27. That drops the Jags to 8-5. Atop their division and currently controlling the 4th seed in the AFC playoff picture. Also, the Jets pull off a stunner in a rout of 30-6 over the Jets, which is absolutely insane. Or sorry, the Texans. The Jets pull off a stunner over the Texans 30-6. So that drops them to 3rd-6 or 7-6. So the Jags are still in control of their division, up by a full game. The Texans missed out on a gigantic opportunity to pull within one game over the Jaguars. So that will put them at the 4th. Kansas City right now is in a dogfight with the Bills, 17-14, trailing by 3 with about 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. So if the Bills can pull this off, the Chiefs would drop to 8-5 as well and either be in control of the 3rd or the 4th seed. I don't know who would get each one, but that would put Baltimore up 2 games on both the Jags and the Kansas City Chiefs. So this could set us up for a 2 seed position, which is what you want, right, Dom? That's assuming we are going to take an L either to the Dolphins or the 49ers. I think we're going to lose one of those games. So this could potentially set us up for that 2 seed, what you want. You want a home playoff game for both the wild card and the divisional round. So this was a big win. This was a huge win. And credit the Ravens for finding a way to win. They showed some heart. That offense showed some heart on that last drive. That 3rd and 17 was an absolute dime to Zay Flowers, who coughed up a bunch of easy passes this game in the rain. Made up for it on the last 2 plays. That touchdown was magnificent. What a dot by Lamar. And then the 2-point conversion, a leaping grab in the corner of the end zone by Zay Flowers, again, to go up 3. So great job offense right there. Finding a way, showing your heart. And that's, again, I'm going to spin it optimistically. I'm Mr. Optimistic today, guys. That's the kind of game you need to win because you might find yourself in one of those in the playoffs. These nasty, gritty games, whether it's low scoring or high scoring, you have to find a way to pull it out in the end. You've got to find a way, whatever it takes. If it takes a punt return, if it takes, going overtime or whatever, you got to be that team that emerges on top. And the Ravens, so far, were able to do that not only this week, but last week in that slop fest of a Chargers game too. So that is one good thing I am enjoying about this team right now. Even though it was really ugly on defense, and we already know, and the rhythm was off on offense, they are finding ways to win the game in the 4th quarter and not finding ways to lose, which is the difference between this year's team and last year's team, why this year's team is 10-3, and why last year's team went on a free fall at the end of the season. They had leads on all of those, and they were losing. This year, they have the leads, and they're finding ways to win for the most part. Yes, I know they got 3 losses where they had the lead, but they're getting more wins on these occasions now as we approach December. So that could bode well for the playoffs coming up and the end of this December run. So let's keep that trend going.
Let's hope so. You know me, I'm always trying to be Mr. Optimism.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it's you today as well.
Yeah.
But like I said, 10-3 looks great on us. I mean, I love it. I love the fact. I mean, as far as division record, both of us. What did you have us finishing again this year?
I said 13-4. Was it
13-4?
14-3. It was one of those. I can't remember.
Okay, I know. Yeah, I know. I said 14-3. So,
I think 13-4 then, because I don't think we were exactly the same, were we?
Yeah, I don't think so. I can't fully remember.
Okay.
But I know I said 14-3. Not too far off to both of our estimations. So I mean, we're sitting right where we thought we would sit at this point of the year already.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I mean, this is just the beginning of the gauntlet that we're going to have to face for the rest of the year. So we're going to have to make sure we're watching as enough tape as possible, looking at these receivers and these running backs that we're going to have to face. Lord, I'm not looking forward to Christmas at all. I think my Christmas might. I'm really hoping that the Christmas gift, Ravens, Christmas gift, upset the Rams. Upset the Niners, because boy, are we going to be underdogs in that one.
Then we got next week too. That's an effective running back as well.
Yeah, ETN is no joke. We're going up against crazy running backs for pretty much I don't know if you count Pittsburgh, but other than that, we're going against crazy running backs for like the rest of the year. We got A-Chain, we got A-Chain, I don't know how to say his name typically. We got ETN. We got probably the best running back in the league right now in CMC. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, this run defense has got to get tightened up.
It's got to get tightened up. It has to, because we were getting tossed around today. So hopefully that changes. But yeah, man, I'm happy to see we're sitting at 10-3. Good win for the Ravens. Tylan Wallace, take this victory. Your player, I would say, player.
Wallace.
Hats off. This is a Tylan Wallace fan page.
Sorry to cut you real quick. I got to say this real quick. I'm sorry. Shout out to Tylan Wallace. He has never attempted a punt return until today. And oh my Lord, he made it count. So just give him a round of applause.
This is a Tylan Wallace fan page. This is a heck of a punt return that ended. Because when we kicked it back off to them because we got ball first, I was like, okay, bet. Let's go down here. Let's just go down, take it slow, score. We go 3 and out. I'm like, why? We get the ball back. I mean, we forced the Rams to punt. Shot to the drop pass from the rookie. Thank goodness he dropped that ball.
I think he would have been short anyway. Roquan was there.
Yeah, he probably would have been short. But, with Sean McVay, he's probably – I don't know if he's going for that or what. But who knows? That would have been crazy if he did. But I wouldn't have been surprised if he did. But at that point, you force the punt, and boy, it's like he flipped the switch, spin move, got out there to the side to the numbers, and was able to take it back. So shout out to Tylan on that punt return, because boy, my mindset wasn't even punt return. My mindset was, all right, let's get the ball, get Tucker down there, kick the field goal, get us the heck out of this game immediately. And Tylan said, you know what? We're not even going to need Tucker. I got it. And he just took it down. So I was like, you know what, Tylan?
Yeah.
Take that.
That was such an exciting play. I thought he definitely was going to fall down, but he got his balance and he took it down the sideline.
Took it all the way.
Teams too, no blocked kicks today. And Tucker was 3 for 3 on his field goals, I think.
Thank you, 3 for 3.
So thank you. But there was one instance where the punt almost got blocked, and I was like, oh, shit, here we go. Oh, pardon me.
There was no flag on that. He ran right into our kicker. Our punter. I don't know if that's like – there was no flag on that, though. So I don't know if it's like – but, yeah, that missed – I don't know if they throw the flag on that play. But he ran right into our guy. Like, I'm surprised that wasn't a roughing the kicker situation.
Awful today. I mean, they were – well, I thought it was against us. I mean, every flag was going for the Rams, it felt like, in the beginning. Keith Mitchell got ragdolled, no personal foul. But every time the Ravens stepped out of line, one time, grabbing a face mask for a second, they threw it immediately. But everything the Rams were doing, nothing. Kyle Hamilton, egregious pass interference call to set up the Rams' first touchdown. It was wildly overthrown. Puka was not catching that. If anything, that should have been illegal contact. But that was ridiculous. I mean, And then on 3rd and 16, Marlon Humphrey gets wrapped up with Puka Nacua again, and he falls down, and they throw another flag. It's very ticky-tack. It looked like that he kind of just slipped. I know he grabbed him for a second, but I also saw that Puka put his arm out for a little bit. So I really don't think you can't call that, can you? I guess you can, but I didn't enjoy the officiating today. A lot of weird
calls. It was some weird calls. There were some weird calls.
And a lot of non-explanations as well. Like, you would just see a flag. There was one time where we forced a punt up 14-10, and then you come back from a break off of an injury timeout, and the Rams have a first down, and they didn't explain any of it.
I think it was an offside.
Yeah, and there was no explanation by the refs at all. The commentator said it. I didn't see it. They didn't even show a replay.
Yeah, it was no offsides. I don't know what the heck when the offsides occurred. I don't know if it occurred on the punt. Late ball. I don't know. I didn't think the officiator was that good, in my opinion. But whatever, they got the dub. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But good dub, guys. Tylan Wallace, you're getting a raise. I don't run the Ravens, but you're getting a raise in my book for this week because what a punt return. Oh my! Like, the fact that it came down to the punt return, this is probably game of the day. Honestly, it was probably game of the day for sure. But oh my goodness. Just happy to say we're coming to you guys with a victory post game, because if this was a losing post game, I would have.
Yep. So we're currently standing in the 1 seed. I think that will probably be the 2 seed by tomorrow, because Tennessee plays Miami. That's going to be an auto win. So
I mean, Tennessee, unless you want to clap up Miami real quick. Not saying it's likely. Not saying it's likely at all. But
good. I mean, Will Levis, hey, mayo in your coffee. Let's see if you can pull it out. Maybe, I don't know. No, I'm kidding. But
get that extra dosage of mayo in the coffee for tomorrow, man. You're gonna need it.
With Pittsburgh losing and the Bengals and Browns both winning, this puts us 2 games ahead of the Browns and the Bengals, and actually, 3 games ahead of the Bengals, 2 games ahead of the Browns, and 3 games ahead of the Steelers because they are 7-6. Browns are 8-5. So we're looking good in the division right now. So if we can pop off a few more wins, we could be AFC North champs. Hopefully.
Wait, I thought are the Bengals? Wait, maybe
Bengals got to win. They're 7-6.
They're 7-6. Okay, yeah. So Bengals are 7-6. Steelers are 7-6, and Browns. Okay, all right. Now I just want to make sure. I was looking at the standings.
Offset the ball at midfield, and the Bills recover. Holy crap! Oh man, trouble in Kansas City. But anyway, yes. That's the AFC North standings. So yeah, a few more wins, we could be AFC North champions for the first time since 2019. So that would be nice.
Wouldn't it be crazy if Flacco somehow takes this team to the playoffs and we get a Flacco showdown?
I don't want to play that. No.
Listen,
no.
I'm just saying. It's
God,
looking like I don't know, because Flacco's been balling. Okay, like he's been balling. He threw 3 touchdown passes today for over 300 yards.
And I don't want a fairy tale story.
I'm not saying it's likely. I'm not saying it's likely.
It's very possible.
But it's possible. It's very possible because right now they're the 5th seed. So
they could beat somebody first round. I don't know who.
Literally, because if the playoffs started today, Miami will go against Cincy, Pittsburgh will go against Kansas City, and Jacksonville will face Cleveland. I mean, Cleveland could win. I mean, shoot, they just beat them today. So Cleveland could win that game. Like, it's Lord have mercy. This playoff race is going to be crazy.
In our first game, Flacco and the Browns at home in divisional round. I don't want to play January, Joe. I really don't.
I don't either. I don't want to play Flacco. Like, that would be insane if we had to play Flacco in the playoff. Wouldn't that be a story? Oh, my God. That would be funny.
Let's not make it a story.
Let's not make it a story, but wouldn't it be a story? Oh, my gosh. We'll have to see, though. But it's possible. It's very possible we can see Flacco in January.
We got after Watson, but he was just running like crazy on us.
He ran all over us, yeah.
Flacco won't run like that. So it'd be interesting to see if we could get pressure on all angles. We would be able to tackle him.
But we have to get that pressure because if Flacco's out here throwing Joe dots, I mean, he was out here cooking. Like, he was cooking out here today. I don't know the full-on stats, but he was cooking today.
Our defense is a little bit better than Jacksonville's, but we'll see. That
is true. I do like that too. But geez Louise, the man threw for 311 and 3 touchdowns. Like, you would think this is 2012 Flacco all over again.
Listen, they've still got one more date with the Bengals, and that could also provide a seeding change as well. Because Browning has been stepping it up. Browning got a win today. Threw for a lot.
Did he come back in that game? I know he got hurt.
It hurt?
Yeah, he got hurt during that game. I don't know if he came back to finish it off.
I don't know, but I have to check. But I know the Bengals up 34-14, and they destroyed the Colts. So, if Browning plays like that, they could beat the Browns. That could be a shootout.
I can't believe we're sitting here talking about backup quarterbacks.
The Browns' defense has regressed a little bit. They've given up a lot of points. I mean,
we're talking about backup quarterbacks right now.
Yeah.
Backup quarterbacks. Lord, why are we worrying about backup quarterbacks? They're so insane
right now.
They are. I mean, you're not wrong, but it's like, what the heck? When you see Deshaun Watson and Joe Burrow go down, you're supposed to be like, oh, yeah, their season's cooked. They're still laying the smack down on these dudes. I'm like, bro, what are we talking about right now?
Blown out like that was a little shocking. I didn't like them losing was not super shocking, but the way they lost was very shocking.
The way and the fashion that they lost. Like, you would think, first of all, Minshew Magic, he wants to show up against us all day to get the win. But then you can't show up against Jake.
He didn't even play well against us. We just gave him that game away.
We gave the game away. But still, it's like, Colts defense, what are you doing? What are we doing out here? Because this is
Jake
unacceptable.
Browning, if you take the 6 on Jake Browning's jersey and you flip it upside down, what number is it? What is it?
They just call this man Joe Burrow Jr.
Maybe, because he is throwing dots. And
This is ridiculous.
he's got one more date with the Steelers, too. And you best believe he's going to be coming for blood that game because he knows they should have won. If this form of Jake Browning showed up against Pittsburgh, they would have won that game. I think he's got the experience under his belt now. This is what now? His third start. Next week is his 4th. Look out, Pittsburgh. You're in for a bloody game if you don't look at it, especially with Mitch at quarterback. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dude, we're talking about, he threw for 275 today and 2 touchdowns. He was 18 for 24, Jake Browning. Wait, what? And then the leading receiver.
Wait, so
the leading receiver was friggin' Chase Brown, the running back. Like, what are we? Lord have mercy. What
the Colts are overachievers as well. They should not be 7-6 in my opinion. But
if they still had Anthony Richardson, it might be a different story. But
for better or worse, I don't know.
Yeah,
the rookie. I don't
know.
We'll see.
Jeez Louise, man.
Guys,
we're talking about backup QBs.
These are fun conversations. The AFC playoff race is definitely heating up. It's in full swing right now. I don't know who's going to be in it, who's going to get what. Like, it is insanity. These next few weeks, ladies and gentlemen, you all better hold on tight, fasten your seatbelts, because you're in for a wild ride in the American Football Conference. You just don't know what's coming. No idea. But anyway, we're glad that our Ravens that came out on top today to go 10-3, best record in the conference right now, which is great. I'm going to sit here and watch the end of this Bills game. The fourth quarter just kicked off. The Bills are up by 3. Tonight is Eagles-Cowboys, another fun matchup in the NFC. But
that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, we'll see if the Eagles can pull off that win and avenge their loss from last week. But anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. This was a fun post-game live stream. Glad you were able to join us. Any last messages, Don, before we give on out?
Nope. I mean, again, big shout out to Tylan Wallace, man. What a heck of a way to end the game. Adding this notch onto your career. I mean, you started making plays in the preseason, and then you're showing us again why you earned that spot as the 6th receiver on the team. So we appreciate it. And good, nasty win, but a win nonetheless. So we'll take it. Now I'll get ready for Jags.
Yep, let's get that defense cleaned up with a nice week of practice this week. Jacksonville is our next game, Sunday Night Football, December the 17th. Going to be a big show.
We got a lot of prime time. Oh, my goodness. We're like prime time central.
And then we've got Monday Night Football right after that. So, yeah, we'll be ready. America wants to see the Ravens. Let's show them who we're all about. But anyway, thanks again for joining us. Crazy game today. This is a crazy week of football altogether. This has been an insane Sunday. And there's still more to come, and some matchups tomorrow as well. But anyway, thanks for joining. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Did your team win today? Let us know in the comments. Let us know if you think our Ravens are legit. Are we frauds? Are we good? What do you think? Let us know. We'd love to have a conversation. We had some guests recently on our show. If you would like to be a guest on the show, please reach out in the comments section or our email or DM us on our Instagram. Either way, we'd love to get in touch with you to talk some football, talk about your favorite team. You can talk some trash if you want as well. We enjoy trolls and trash talk. As long as you're not a Pittsburgh fan. No, I'm kidding. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. But anyway, guys, thanks again. Please leave a like and a subscription if you enjoyed, those of you watching this from YouTube. All righty. Ladies and gentlemen, Gonz, this is us signing out. Have a good night. And go Ravens.